It's Gary Kayye, and I am joined today by Dirk Hendrickx. Dirk is the VP of EMEA Sales for Barco, and everybody knows who Barco is. Good morning, Dirk.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thanks for breakfast this morning. It was a great breakfast, and I got introduced to a new term that I think I'm going to use in a few articles upcoming here, and it's called cloud visualization, which Dirk so kind to loan that term to me. I love the idea, and basically it's sort of a quick way to describe your video over IP strategy, or really sort of the future strategy for Barco, right?
Correct. That's for sure one of the future strategies of Barco, and as we discussed during breakfast, we were kind of pushed into network-centric visualization about 10 years ago when we had the Brussels subway system, adding 2 extra stations to it and having to add the number of cameras to it. It was like pretty undoable to add more matrix functionality to that. So there we invented the fact that make use of a network in order to distribute and expand your system. What we've seen in the past decade is we've seen in terms of visualization a move from VGA connector to DVI to DisplayPort, and you have seen virtually the same in terms of sources of connectivity. In many cases in corporate TV, these are laptops or iPads or tablet PCs, and those resolutions have changed quite a lot as well. We've seen that in AV-centric solutions, those solutions sometimes got hicked up by the coming of new display technology, and as a consequence, you have a solution which is, before you have it, it's already old-fashioned, and it doesn't serve the longevity of it. If, on the contrary, you look to network solutions, networks are there. They're abundantly available. It is rather cheap per today. It's very certain per today. And as a consequence, it's about adding clusters, we call that network graphic processors, at the edges of the network, and making sure that you either combine visual in streams as visual out streams. And depending on the need of having more or less density on a display or more or less inputs on the other side, you simply add those network graphic processors in order to crank up the processing speed. And as a consequence, you can make use of a network. Is it privatized or not? That doesn't really matter. But you make use of the network and you simply add sources and resources to it. As a consequence, the strategy of visualization becomes all of a sudden different. It becomes more of how do you manage those AV streams over network? How do you build clusters inside that make the conversion of it? What kind of conversion algorithms are you going to use? And more important, how are you going to define your man-machine interface? And this changes to a large extent the being of Barco. We were a radio company in 34. We've moved over television into projection, but we are definitely per today moving more into what we call network-centric, or what we call together cloud visualization company.
So I guess a way to summarize that is technologically, you have sort of boxes that can be on-ramps to the network and off-ramps to the network. So you can send signals up to the network, the signals stay on the network, compressed or uncompressed, depending on what you're going to do with them. In the medical application, you wouldn't want to compress it, but in sort of a typical boardroom application, compressing it's fine. Video conferencing obviously is compressed. And then you peel it off the network to put it on a projector. You peel it off the network to put it on inside of a police car for a security application. You peel it off the network to put it into a command center if you need to. So does that mean that Barco, because Barco is known as sort of a hardware company, are you saying that in the future you see yourselves as a company that's going to be, sort of a network managed services company, or what do you what do you see as the future, say 10 years down the road?
Well, the Quran said, I don't know, did you ever read the Quran?
Not totally, no.
Not totally, okay. A part of the Quran says he who predicts the future lies even if he tells the truth. But for sure, if you look to the past decade and moving into the next decade, you see a hefty commoditization of the visual displays on one hand side, and you see the need of easiness or reducing complexity in the way people are going to use that visualization. As a consequence, practically for sure, you will see a merger from AV over IP. And if you want to still play in that visual world of tomorrow, we will have to migrate along with that process which is going in that direction. To one end, we are still offering components as you just described them, but to the next step, we offer, for instance, in Nexus inside the surgery room, we offer a CMS, a control room management software inside control rooms. We offer ClickShare, which to a certain extent is in that same direction, and we will see us gradually doing more of this and less of perhaps less of the other.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I think for the last 10 years, our industry's been talking about video over IP, and for that matter, AV over IP, not just the video, the audio, and all the data. But you're right. I mean, ClickShare is sort of that first step into that. But also your Nexus product in the medical imaging side, or medical control side, is already on the network. So should we see new products here at ISE 2013 tomorrow that take to that next generation besides, say, a new version of ClickShare, or should we expect to see some new stuff at Infocom, or when will we start to see sort of the steps of this emerge? Well,
Nexus is new. It's just launched, and I believe we have done a great job in there. You're going to see the NGP or the Transform N solutions of control rooms, and you're going to see within short other solutions in there at ISE, and then later on at Infocom this year. But for sure, it's our will to grow in that market, because it simplifies the user's life. It brings a capex which is far low, and it creates a longevity of the solution which was not there in terms of AV centric solutions. So those are the main reasons why we are doing this.
So will you be at Infocom?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to book an appointment so that you could give me an update on this, because I'm obviously very intrigued. I've been writing about how our industry needs to go to the network rapidly for 10 years. So, and I would not say I was ahead of my time. I overestimated how long it would take, or underestimated how long it would take for this industry to sort of embrace the direction the rest of the world is going. I mean, even the home, 70% of the stuff people get in their home now is across a network. The content, people are not watching television with wires anymore, they're watching it wirelessly. So this sort of brings that to the corporate level.
Correct. We've seen that too, and we started with network-centric visualization about 10, 12 years ago. You know that, we shared at that moment in time, and we estimated this takeover of AV over IP versus AV-centric was going to be more rapid, but there is a certain legacy inside the market. Yeah. People were earning money with that, and these were like good known systems. We have to admit as well that a network of 10 years ago is not the same, has not the same, it did not have the same latencies or the same certainty as we know them right now. So I think we may have been a bit too optimistic in 2005 when we launched certain products, but per today it's there. If you see, we are in Holland. I drove here last night. You're being controlled by a Transform N networking system delivered by Barco. There are about 8,000 cameras which are being monitored with that. And guess what? Unfortunately, the displays don't come from Barco because they're all personal monitors. But grabbing shoots, grabbing videos, displaying them over different centers, having a man-machine interface built into that's been done by Barco. And this is now a prediction of what we will be in the coming decade. Difficult to say, but we're trying to ride the waves as they come together with us.
And in the meantime, obviously, you're still going to have more. Actually now, officially, you have more projectors than ever before because of the merger with Projection Design. And I'm talking to Wim tomorrow about that specifically. But here at ISE, you have two different stands. You have your Projection Design stand and your Barco stand. Should we see those stands merged at Infocom, or what do you think is going to happen there?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're all going to wear white shirts and a Barco tie. So that's the first merger. But in future, again, it's perhaps difficult to predict, but for sure we'll try to merge the stands wherever possible. I don't know whether it's still possible for Infocom, but moving into ISE next year, we will definitely see one bigger stand than we have right now.
Yeah, well, it's as a good. I mean, it's a logical merger because of your strength in the United States, for example, in North America, and that's sort of their weakest market, and then their breadth of product line, the pieces of the product line that you were missing, they had. So congratulations on that acquisition and merger, or whatever it's being called now. And thanks for stopping by today and giving me an opportunity to sort of see the vision for the future of where Barco is going. And I definitely tend to agree with your adaptation of AV over IP.
Good. Thank you very much, Gary, and success during the show.
Well, thank you. Same to you. Thanks. This is Gary Kayye, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to see all the new products that Barco launched here at ISE 2013, all you got to do is go to the search box right there at the top of the screen, at the top of the page, and search Barco, and you'll see all the videos that we've shot today and throughout the show on the new Barco ClickShare products and all the other products they introduced here at ISE 2013. And thanks again for watching.